Break through the city. Surrender and you will not be killed.
All of you, leave. Go, if you can.
Eleanor won't leave, Your Majesty. In life or death, I will stay by your side.
Eleanor, would you be willing to be the Empress of this fallen kingdom?
Eleanor is willing.
Take her away. Never return. Take good care of her.
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
My lady. Please come with me.
Let go of me.
I will come back for you. Wait for me.
Let go of me.
So you are the Emperor of the Kingdom of Asteria? I won't kill you. Take him away. Ensure he is well looked after.
In the desolate borderlands, the cold wind cut like knives. Victor Kingsley rode on horseback, dragging Aiden behind him. The coarse rope bit into his wrists, blood staining the sand and dirt. Aiden was dragged until his skin tore and his flesh split open. His insides felt as though they were being ripped apart.
Still feeling proud?
Aiden clenched his jaw, unable to utter a single word. Victor's expression darkened. With a sharp yank on the rope, he spurred his horse faster. Aiden was flung off his feet, crashing heavily to the ground.
Grandmother.
In the darkness, a white-haired old woman smiled and beckoned to him. Aiden tried to reach for that hand, but his body grew lighter and lighter. He knew if he died like this, he would not only be shamed before his ancestors, but would also be mocked by his older brothers.
Stop. Help him up.
Victor dismounted and looked down at Aiden lying there, barely breathing. A complex emotion flickered in his eyes. He knelt, checking for breath, and his face immediately changed.
Summon the Imperial Physician. If he dies, you will all go down with him.
Buzzing filled Aiden's ears, but he faintly heard Victor's voice. With the last of his strength, he tried to open his eyes, only to see his grandmother's figure walking away into the distance. Just as everyone thought Aiden would not survive, his finger twitched slightly. Victor stared intently at that deathly pale face, and a sudden thought surged within him. This person absolutely could not be allowed to die like this. He had just turned when he saw Aiden had completely lost consciousness. Victor's heart clenched violently, regret biting at his throat like a venomous snake. He knew full well this man was frail. How could he have been so harsh?
Physician. Get the Imperial Physician here now.
Victor scooped up the man from the ground, carefully untying the rope from his wrists. The wrists were already a mangled mess of flesh and blood, smeared with dirt and weeds, a horrifying sight. He placed Aiden into the palanquin, wrapping him tightly in a fox fur cloak.
I asked you how to treat the wounds.
The skin is scraped raw. The army medic, trembling under the reprimand, brought clean water and wound salve. Victor opened the medicine bottle, sniffed it, and immediately threw it outside. What if this shoddy medicine left scars? He personally undressed Aiden, wiping him clean, but as he did, his own nose began to bleed uncontrollably. When the Imperial Physician, Ivan Thorne, arrived, he saw Victor with 2 streams of blood from his nose, and his eyes went wide. Glancing into the palanquin, he saw the disheveled Aiden, his delicate, beautiful face revealed. Ivan instantly misunderstood, thinking this was some delicate woman Victor had hidden away.
I'm fine. Examine him.
Ivan, frantic, gave Victor a sharp rap on the head, forcing him to pull out Aiden's hand, but seeing those soft, fair hands covered in wounds, Ivan's heart sank a chill on top of external injuries. His constitution was frighteningly weak. Ivan hastily wrote out 3 prescriptions in a row.
Is he supposed to eat this like a meal?
Ivan shoved a box of lotus bloom salve into his hands, instructing him to apply it to prevent scarring, then hurried off. Victor held the medicine, looking down at the unconscious Aiden. His gaze gradually darkening, he would nurse this man back to health, and then slowly conquer him.
You, what are you doing?
Aiden awoke to find a hand gently stroking his body, a tingling sensation that made him shiver all over. His pale face stared accusingly at Victor, only to realize his chest was exposed. A wave of shame instantly washed over him.
I can do it myself.
I'll apply it to your back first. You can't reach there.
Aiden hesitated a moment, then slowly turned, exposing his lean back completely to Victor's view. Victor's breathing hitched abruptly, and the pressure of his touch grew increasingly ambiguous. What he wanted was far more than just applying medicine. Aiden had just begun to think he might survive this ordeal when Victor appeared before him holding the ointment. His entire body tensed, terrified of any contact with the man.
I can handle the rest myself.
All right.
Thank you.
While applying the salve, Victor stared fixedly at Aiden's bare torso. Aiden coughed awkwardly, and only then did Victor fluster and turn away.
Clothes.
You'll have to make do for a bit. I'll fetch you clothes once we're back.
Victor removed his own outer robe to wrap around Aiden before stepping out of the palanquin. Aiden lifted the curtain and saw Victor's silhouette in the biting wind. A strange sense of dependency stirred within him, which he immediately suppressed. Back at the palace, Victor carried the peacefully sleeping Aiden into the breeze pavilion. While the seamstress was taking measurements, her eyes lingered on Aiden, a few times too many. Victor suddenly appeared, his expression icy. The seamstress fell to her knees in terror, begging for mercy, but Victor ordered her executed.
Stop.
You wish to plead for her? Do you realize you can hardly protect yourself right now?
Yes.
Victor lifted Aiden's chin, then released it, finally sparing the seamstress. But Aiden remained on his knees. His mind in turmoil. Was he, the fallen emperor, truly destined to become his plaything? And his heart belonged to another, so he must not succumb. Aiden had just breathed a sigh of relief when Victor pinned him to the bed, rendering him immobile.
You remember what I said? If you wish to thank me, offer yourself. Now, are you willing?
Aiden's eyes widened. Even as a fallen emperor, he had once been a sovereign. How could he become another man's plaything?
Let me go.
Aiden, you should understand my temperament. Don't test my patience.
Aiden made his decision. If Victor took another step, he would bite his own tongue and end it all. But unexpectedly, Victor released him, turning his back. His tone even softened.
It's cold here. I've had a hand warmer sent for you. Warm your hands if you feel chilled.
With that, Victor left without a backward glance. Aiden lay on the bed gasping for air, as if he had narrowly escaped disaster.
My lord, I've been in the palace for many years. It's the first time His Majesty has shown such concern for a young lord. Perhaps you should be more accepting. Living is always better than dying.
Aiden's eyes were lost. Must he truly submit to another to survive? He'd rather die. Just then, an announcement came from outside. Lord Lucien Delacroix had arrived.
My lord, Lord Lucian is here. I fear he's come to make trouble.
Before Aiden could compose himself, the door was pushed open, and a strikingly alluring figure entered. His words had not even finished before the eunuch beside him shrank back in fear. With a single glance from Lucian, the man immediately fell silent and retreated. Aiden stood his ground, watching the faint smile on Lucian's lips. He knew this man meant trouble.
His Majesty has brought many people back before, but someone as arrogant, disrespectful, and insolent as you, that's a first.
Aiden could hear the warning, the attempt to put him in his place, but he refused to acknowledge it.
Likewise.
The smile on Lucian's face froze for an instant, his teeth audibly grinding. He took a deep breath, forcing elegance back into his demeanor.
A single word from me, and you'll be thrown out of the palace? You'd do well to show me some respect.
Aiden's heart sank. He knew this man was capable of it, but he also knew he could not back down. Now, if he retreated, he would never stand up again. Slowly, he raised his eyes, meeting Lucien's gaze directly. A faint, almost imperceptible smile, even touching the corner of his mouth.
Then, Your Highness, by all means, give it a try.
Lucien's eyes turned venomous, but he said nothing more, turning on his heel to leave. His footsteps echoed in the empty corridor, each step seeming to hammer away at the last shreds of Aiden's dignity. But Aiden knew this battle had only just begun. His opponent would not let it go, and he could only rely on himself.
He'll definitely go to Victor.
No sooner had the words left his lips than hurried footsteps sounded in the distance. A eunuch rushed over, his face pale as a sheet. Victor had summoned him. He had just entered the courtyard of the Imperial study when he heard the sound of muffled coughing from Aiden's room. Victor's steps halted, the gloom in his eyes deepening. Ever since he'd brought Aiden back from the mountains, the man's health had never fully recovered. The physicians called it the fire toxin, burning from within. If not purged in time, it would claim his life.
Open the door.
The door was unlocked. Victor pushed it open to find Aiden sitting on the edge of the bed, his face as white as paper, an unnatural redness tinging the corners of his eyes.
You're pushing yourself again. Have you taken your medicine?
Your Majesty needn't concern yourself.
Aiden's voice was hoarse, as if something were clogging his throat. Victor clenched his fist, remembering the incident with Lucien. He wouldn't allow that same humiliation to befall this man again.
Your Majesty, the Imperial kitchen has been investigated. The fire toxin was administered in the evening soup.
Hearing this, Aiden's fingers clenched the bedsheet tightly.
Investigate. Whoever it is, I will have their life.
That's unnecessary. I know who poisoned me.
Aiden looked up, the dark red in his eyes flickering like flames. He suddenly smiled, a smile that sent a chill down Victor's spine.
Your Majesty thinks my body became like this by itself? The person in your heart acted long ago.
A gust of wind suddenly swept through the doorway, extinguishing the candles. Victor stood in the shadows, shock and murderous intent churning in his eyes. He thought he could guard against the palace's dark schemes, yet they had still managed to wound the one person he least wanted harmed. Luna knelt before the palace gates, kowtowing until blood seeped from her forehead. But 2 guards firmly covered her mouth. She couldn't make a sound. If she alerted His Majesty, everyone would die. The guard who had accepted her silver softened. One stayed while the other went to report to Eunuch Cyril. Cyril hesitated for a long time outside the Imperial study before finally pushing the door open.
Lord Aiden, send a physician to see him. You bother me with such a trivial matter? I don't have that much free time.
Hearing this reply, Luna's legs gave way. She slumped down, hugging her knees and sobbing at the entrance to the Breeze Pavilion. She had failed Lord Aiden. She hadn't been able to summon His Majesty. Stella arrived to help her up, smiling.
He's in the room with Lord Aiden right now.
Luna looked up sharply, disbelief written across her face. The moment Victor entered the room, he saw Aiden on the bed, his face flushed, the fire toxin taking hold. Silas knelt on the floor, trembling in fear.
What use are you all? Could you not have notified me sooner?
Aiden, in a daze, clung to Victor, desperately burrowing into his embrace. Victor lowered his head, gently kissing the old scar on Aiden's wrist, his voice hoarse.
I'm sorry. Does it still hurt? Don't worry. I'll help you.
Victor unhurriedly removed his clothes, pulling the feverish Aiden tightly against him. Outside, the sky had turned pitch black. He called for Silas to fetch hot water. Silas entered with the water basin. As he was about to lift the bed curtain, he saw Victor pick Aiden up and place him into a wooden tub. His Majesty was personally bathing Lord Aiden. Not even Lord Lucien had ever received such treatment. Aiden Sterling woke feeling as though his body had been taken apart and clumsily reassembled. A glaring, livid mark marred his neck. Trembling, he tugged at his collar, and the reflection in the mirror made him freeze.
Someone come here.
What do you require, my lord? I am here.
Yesterday. Was Victor Kingsley here?
Yes, my lord. You were afflicted by the fire toxin. The servants had no other recourse but to summon His Majesty to administer the antidote.
The last shred of desperate hope shattered into dust. Victor had poisoned him, then played the savior who came to administer the cure. He had destroyed his kingdom, and now he sought to possess his very body.
Out. All of you, get out.
The moment the door clicked shut, Aiden collapsed to the floor. A single tear fell onto his sleeve. He wept, and then, amidst the tears, a laugh escaped him, a laugh colder than any sob. He remembered his second older brother, Damien Sterling, the one who always pressed the finest things into his hands. But on that drunken night, Damien had held him close, whispering the ugly truth with terrifying intimacy.
Aiden, you were always Father's favorite. Those eunuchs and maids I supposedly arranged to leave the palace. Father had them killed. I was taking credit for his cruelty, waiting to reap the rewards. But now, I don't want to scheme anymore. If you want the throne, I'll help you get it. Aiden, I only want you. Be mine, won't you?
The person he'd once trusted most had merely been using him, and now his enemy had left his mark upon him. Aiden wiped away that tear. The light in his eyes dimmed, hardening into something dark and still. He remained seated on the floor, his knees long gone numb. The sharp crack of a slap from that night still echoed in his ears. The old Emperor's palm striking Damien's face. The terrifying swelling that followed.
Aiden, the floor is cold. Get up.
Aiden didn't move. He didn't even bother to lift his eyes. He remembered Damien once saying his hands were the most beautiful in the palace.
Don't touch me.
Fine. I won't touch you. Can you get up yourself?
Victor waited for the time it takes to drink a cup of tea. Aiden remained in that same lifeless pose. Finally, his patience snapped.
Aiden Sterling, are you deliberately trying to make me feel sorry for you?
As a conquered slave, I wouldn't dare.
The sentence ignited Victor's fury. He grabbed Aiden, pinning him, and kissed him hard.
Let go.
You bit me?
Let me go.
Impossible. You are mine. Even in death, you are mine.
Then what am I to you?
Victor froze, offering no answer. In the end, he only threw down one final command. If Aiden harmed himself again, the entire kingdom of Asteria would pay the price. Aiden knew then he would never escape this fate. Victor stormed out of the inner chamber, his face thunderous. Silas, stationed at the door, saw that imposing figure, and his whole body jolted. His knees hit the ground faster than his mind could process the danger.
Your Majesty, spare me. Have mercy.
What had Lord Aiden done this time to anger his Majesty to such an extent? Serving this particular master, his old life seemed perpetually on the brink.
Silas, tell me, have I not treated him well enough?
Your Majesty has been exceedingly generous to Lord Aiden. It is he who fails to appreciate your kindness.
Silence followed his words. Silas felt the weight of that scrutinizing gaze upon his back. Every breath a step on a knife's edge. But then, footsteps finally moved away, heading decisively toward the direction of the Breeze Pavilion. His Majesty's obsession with Lord Aiden was deepening. The situation, it was on the verge of spiraling out of control.
Heavens above, please don't let anything else go wrong.
Meanwhile, inside the Breeze Pavilion, Aiden stood by the window, watching leaves torn loose by the wind.
Here he comes again. This time. How will he torment me?
The main door of the Breeze Pavilion was kicked open. Victor stood silhouetted in the doorway, his backlit figure like a mountain bearing down. Aiden didn't turn. He only tightened his grip on the hand hidden within his sleeve.
Aiden Sterling, do you truly believe I am reluctant to lay a hand on you?
And within that clenched fist, Aiden's fingers quietly loosened their grip on a shard of porcelain, long kept hidden. He had just begun to think he might bluff his way through this. In the next instant, he was backed into a corner. No retreat remained. Even his breath felt scorching. Damien's hand braced against the wall beside Aiden's ear, his shadow swallowing him whole. Aiden's back pressed against the cold stone, his heart hammering like a war drum.
I asked you, what was written on that paper?
Aiden turned his head away, his cheek burning. His lips trembled for a long moment before he managed to force out the words.
I can't read.
He felt the lie even as he said it, but it was also the truth. He truly was illiterate. Damien's gaze darkened.
Can't read? Then why did you shoot that pigeon?
Aiden's fingers twitched. His mind flashed to the bamboo tube tied to the pigeon's leg. That day he had known what it meant, but hadn't dared to think too deeply.
It was always cooing on the garden wall. It was annoying.
The excuse was pathetic. Damien said nothing. Slowly, he withdrew a crumpled piece of paper from his sleeve, unfolding it to reveal ink-stained characters.
But that pigeon was raised by me.
Aiden's pupils constricted. The pigeon in the garden, the arriving message. This man pressing closer with every step, all the fragments suddenly snapped together. Cold dread slithered up his spine to the base of his skull. The moment Seraphina stepped through the door, her eyes never left Aiden Sterling. She had never seen anyone so beautiful. Her heart pounded a frantic rhythm.
What's your name? I feel like I've seen you somewhere before.
Aiden glanced at her coolly, offering no reply. Undeterred, Seraphina sat down opposite him without invitation, her fingers twisting the hem of her dress.
Your courtyard is so quiet, you don't even have any servants attending you.
After the time it took to sip a cup of tea, Seraphina grew restless. her palms damp with sweat. This nervousness felt even more intense than when she was in Victor's presence.
I'll play a tune for you.
He picked up the jade flute resting on the table, his fingers lightly settling over the holes. When the melody began, Seraphina was stunned. It was a sound that seemed to want to pull her very soul from her body.
This song, who taught it to you?
Aiden didn't answer. He simply closed his eyes and continued to play. The notes grew softer, lower, as if recounting a past he was unwilling to speak of.
Don't you hate him? That man?
Aiden's fingers faltered abruptly. The music ceased. He opened his eyes, a complex flicker of emotion passing through them before his expression smoothed back into impassivity.
What use would hatred serve?
At that very moment, the courtyard gate swung open. A tall, slender figure stood silhouetted against the light. Seraphina turned, her face instantly draining of color. The breeze pavilion erupted into a whirlwind of steel. 14 assassins swarmed 6 Imperial shadows. Aiden had just dodged 3 throwing daggers when the last one shot straight for his throat.
Are you all right?
A black-clad figure suddenly blocked his path, taking the dagger in the chest. The man's voice was cold as he said he was fine and told Aiden not to move. Staring at that familiar-seeming back, a strange sense of recognition prickled at Aiden. Just then, Eleanor appeared behind him, grabbing his arm to pull him away. Shock and panic surged through Aiden. What was she doing here?
No, you have to go. Don't worry about me.
A shadow guard thrust his sword toward Eleanor's brow. Aiden shoved her aside with all his strength. The pounding footsteps of reinforcements grew louder. Jasper had no choice but to order a retreat. The room was left to Aiden and the scattered corpses. The leader of the shadow guards gave him one long, deep look before melting back into the darkness. A eunuch arrived to announce an imperial decree. The Breeze Pavilion was no longer suitable residence. Aiden was to be moved to the Dragoncrest Hall, the Emperor's own bedchamber. Aiden's heart churned with uneasy dread. In the Imperial Gardens, music and laughter filled the air for Consort Seraphina's birthday celebration. The Empress Dowager held Seraphina's hand, her expression kindly. Suddenly, Chancellor Alistair Cromwell shattered his wine cup.
This man is an impostor.
What grounds does my minister have for such an accusation?
Seraphina angrily rebuked the Chancellor, but Alistair insisted the Emperor prove his identity by shooting an arrow with the bow named Sunset's Last Gleam.
Since my minister wishes to see it, let this serve as an additional gift for the consort's birthday. 1 arrow is of little consequence.
Alistair sneered, demanding the Emperor wield Sunset's Last Gleam himself. He refused to believe anyone else in this world could draw that legendary bow. At the court banquet, Victor Kingsley drew the great bow, silencing Alistair Cromwell. The arrow whistled through the air, pierced the Chancellor's official cap, and embedded itself deep into a distant tree with a solid thunk.
I wonder if the Chancellor finds my archery skills lacking.
Alistair stood frozen in place. The entire hall held its breath. He could not believe what he had just witnessed. After the banquet dispersed, Seraphina noticed the blood staining the back of Victor's robes. He was injured but had refused to leave.
Impossible. Today is your birthday. How could I leave midway?
Seraphina left in a huff. With a sigh, Victor finally retired to his chambers. Damien arrived to report they had captured a female assassin, and a jade pendant had been found on her person.
Did you identify her?
We recovered a jade pendant. It appears to be of imperial origin.
Victor took the pendant. Seeing the name Eleanor carved upon it, his face changed dramatically.
Where is she? Take me to her.
In the interrogation chamber, Eleanor was bound to a wooden frame, her body bloodied as a jailer brought his whip down upon her. Victor snatched the whip midair. Seeing a face that bore a striking resemblance to the Empress Dowager, shock reverberated through him.
Was I not clear about avoiding excessive punishment? My sister.
The jailer collapsed to the floor, realizing with horror that he had been beating a princess. The shadow guard, Caius, he had just sighed in relief, thinking he'd finally escaped disaster. In the next moment, he was hauled up and bound securely to a pillar.
By His Majesty's decree, you will not leave this place until you have sampled every instrument of persuasion this room has to offer.
Aiden stared, speechless. He had seen that room before. Every item within it carried an aura that chilled the blood.
What? What have I done wrong?
I merely follow orders. My lord, if you please.
Night deepened. Aiden stood once more before the window, motionless, his gaze fixed on a patch of distant darkness.
My lord, have you not tired of the view from this window?
It's nothing. Merely a habit.
Silas, watching from behind, saw the truth clearly. He wasn't looking at the scenery. He He was staring blankly out the window out of habit, as if waiting for someone, or perhaps fearing someone's arrival.
Don't think too much of it. I just can't sleep.
After Silas withdrew, Aiden's fingers tapped lightly on the window frame 3 precise knocks. From the shadows, a dark figure flashed past, so fast it might have been an illusion. The echoes from that torture chamber still rang in his ears, but he knew they were merely a warning. The true threat was the shadow lurking in the darkness, the shadow guard, Caius. And at that moment, Damien stood beneath a corridor eave, the corner of his mouth lifting in a slight, cold smile. He knew. The real performance was just beginning. The young cook, Finn O'Reilly, was training dogs in the back courtyard. A pack of rowdy hounds surrounded him, tails wagging, but the chickens in the coop were all dead, bitten to pieces. Fuming, he scolded each dog in turn. A black dog was injured. Finn cursed it even as he carefully applied medicine, his movements unexpectedly gentle. The dog whimpered in pain. "Serves you right," Finn muttered, but his hands grew even softer. A servant boy came with a message. The master had ordered that the guest be looked after properly, and Finn was to take care of Jasper Vance. Hearing this, Finn's face flushed red. Returning to the room, he found Jasper already awake, watching him. The young cook flustered, quickly announcing he'd made a wolfberry and pigeon soup to replenish Jasper's blood, then turned and fled. "Let him in." Lord Lucien Delacroix had knelt outside the Imperial study for an hour before being summoned inside. He looked haggard. Before he could even begin to speak, Victor spoke for him. "Lucien, have you decided whose side you're on?" Lucien knelt on the ground, trembling. News of Chancellor Alistair Cromwell's attempted assassination of Aiden Sterling the previous night had spread. He knew his own silence made him complicit, and his heart was filled with dread. "You've always been clever. You should understand what I'm thinking. Alistair Cromwell must die. Which side do you choose?" Lucien pressed his lips together tightly. The last shred of fantasy within him shattered. He had always been a pawn from his father to the Emperor. No one had ever truly cared for him. Lucien finally spoke, his voice hoarse. He said he wanted to see that person one last time. Victor was silent for a moment, then sighed and waved a dismissive hand. "Victor Kingsley, go." Lucien stumbled to his feet and rushed out of the Imperial study. He didn't know how much calculation was hidden within that single word, go. And at that moment, lying in bed, Jasper Vance stared at the bowl of wolfberry and pigeon soup, his gaze growing colder by the second. Victor Kingsley had just finished handling court affairs when a shadow guard suddenly appeared, handing him a bottle of medicine. The guard stammered as he delivered a message. Aiden Sterling mistakenly thought the man who blocked the flying dart for him last night was Caius, and had personally rewarded the wound medicine to him. He gave the medicine to someone else. The shadow guard hung his head, not daring to answer. Victor's face instantly darkened. He grabbed the medicine bottle and strode out. That medicine was something he had carefully obtained from the royal physician, and here, Aiden was casually giving it away. He rushed all the way to Dragoncrest Hall, but stopped outside the door. Faint snipping sounds came from within. Aiden was leisurely trimming the flowers and plants, his delicate profile looking almost unreal in the sunlight. Victor's anger suddenly dissipated.
"Go fetch some water."
Aiden didn't look up, thinking it was Luna, or the others. Hearing this instruction, a flicker of delight sparked in Victor's heart. He actually, obediently, went to fetch water.
"Watering, right? Good."
Victor stared at Aiden's profile, not really hearing the instruction. He picked up the bucket and dumped the whole thing over with a splash, the water splashing onto Aiden's robes. "What are you doing here?" Victor didn't explain. He simply hoisted Aiden over his shoulder and carried him inside. After closing the door, he took out a set of clean clothes and handed them to Aiden, saying he was worried he'd catch a chill. Aiden clutched the fabric, eyes full of confusion. This man was nothing like the brutal shadow from last night. "I think I can answer your questions now. First, you are not my male consort. I have never thought of you as one. Second, I genuinely care for you." After speaking, he pulled the door open and walked out, leaving Aiden standing there alone. His fingers trembled slightly on his sash, his head bowed, lost in thought. "Weren't you going to fetch water? What are you standing there for?" Victor's heart felt like it was bursting with joy. He hurriedly picked up the bucket to fetch water. This time, he imitated Aiden's method, using a small ladle to water slowly. One trimmed, the other watered, the palace maids inside the hall, covering their mouths to stifle giggles. Beneath Aiden's lowered lashes, there was a flicker of waver even he himself hadn't noticed. After being cooped up in the palace for half a month, Victor finally offered to take Aiden out for a walk. But Aiden had only one thing on his mind, finding the man who had taken the dart for him. Victor followed carefully behind, afraid of upsetting him. Aiden, however, headed straight for the Shadow Veil Pavilion, the place where the Emperor trained his shadow guards, which was strictly off-limits to outsiders. The guards were dumbfounded, but not only did His Majesty not stop him, he even followed him inside. Aiden searched inside, circling again and again. The shadow guards looked at him with a mix of shock and fear. But after searching everyone, he couldn't find that familiar figure. Disappointment washed over him like a tide. He didn't want to say a word. Victor noticed his low spirits and quickly stepped forward to ask. But Aiden just coldly replied and turned to leave. Back in the bedchamber, Silas had already laid out the midday meal. 2 sets of bowls and chopsticks were placed on the table. Aiden understood this was prepared for him and Victor. He didn't want to refuse, nor did he want to accept. He just stood there frozen. With one glance from Victor, Silas tactfully retreated to the side.
I'll leave after keeping you company for the meal.
If you're not eating, get out.
Silas broke out in a cold sweat, cursing internally about how this ancestor dared speak to the tyrant like that. But Victor just paused for a moment, not erupting in anger.
Are you upset because you couldn't find that person? Tell me who he is. I'll summon him.
If even you don't know who he is, how could you summon him?
It was the first time Victor saw that mix of anger and disappointment in his eyes, and he actually felt a pang of panic. He had never cared so much about anyone, yet this person showed no appreciation. Meanwhile, in a corner, a dark shadow quietly retreated. The one who had taken the dart for Aiden was under someone else's orders, waiting in the shadows to strike again. Aiden had just thought he could catch his breath when his chamber door was pushed open late at night. A dark figure stood in the doorway. He wasn't the least bit surprised. Lucien Delacroix was wrapped in black, his face covered, but Aiden recognized him instantly and called out his name, Lord Lucien.
What business brings you to me so late?
You want to know who saved you, don't you? Who else would save you but him? If you don't believe me, go see if he has a wound.
The smile on Aiden's face instantly froze. Victor? That tyrant took the dart for him and sent the medicine?
Why are you telling me this? Don't you care for him?
Me? I just want to see the truth. 4 years of feelings. Less important than a single glance from you. I can't swallow this bitterness.
Lucien slammed the door and left. Aiden buried his head in the blankets. The shadow's build was similar to Victor's, but the voice wasn't. How to verify this? Couldn't very well ask the tyrant to take his clothes off. Early the next morning, Aiden opened his eyes to find Victor already sitting by the bed. Aiden stared at Victor's shoulder for a long time.
Why are you here again?
I wanted to take you out of the palace for a walk. Don't be afraid. I'll wait. I won't force you to do anything you don't want.
Aiden was about to say thank you when Victor hurriedly left, saying something about court affairs. But he had stayed up all night last night reviewing memorials.
He's gone. Why do I feel a bit empty inside?
Meanwhile, in the Imperial Garden, Victor was hit on the forehead by a shuttlecock. Serafina flusteredly shielded the palace maid behind her. Victor recognized her instantly. That maid was Eleanor. Why was she dressed like that? From her corner, Serafina watched as the Emperor showed unusual gentleness towards the unfamiliar woman. Her heart sank. Was he about to take on another new favorite? The more she watched, the more she felt they were exchanging meaningful glances. The more she thought about it, the more anxious she felt for Aiden. She turned and ran back. Panting, Serafina found Aiden and relayed everything she had just seen in a hushed voice.
What did you say? He was smiling and being pleasant to a woman?
Aiden's fingers tightened on his sleeve. His expression remained neutral, but his mind was in turmoil. Victor was always cold-faced. Anyone who could make him smile was definitely not simple.
This is my imperial sister, Princess Aine of the Kingdom of Draville.
Victor led the woman inside, his gaze sweeping over Aiden with a hint of amusement. Aiden saw the woman's expression a mix of bewilderment and wariness, and his heart sank.
Princess Aine? I've never heard of her.
There are many things you haven't heard of. From today, she is my sister, the Princess of the Kingdom of Draville.
Aiden watched as the woman leaned against Victor's side. Terrifying thoughts surfaced. Could she be the future Empress? The Empress Dowager smashed a teacup, making the entire tranquil benevolence palace tremble. Her greatest fear had come to pass.
Truly, my fine son, I will see for myself what tricks this Aiden Sterling has used.
Eleanor, hearing the commotion, came in and asked her mother why she was so angry.
Why is mother so angry? Does it concern Aiden Sterling?
Your brother stays with him day and night, even moving his memorials to Dragoncrest Hall to review them. I fear his health will be ruined.
The Empress Dowager grew angrier the more she thought about it. She took Eleanor and headed straight for Dragoncrest Hall. Inside Dragoncrest Hall, Aiden was avoiding Eleanor's gaze. Ever since Eleanor became a princess, a wall seemed to have risen between them.
Greetings, Mother. What brings you here?
If I didn't come, you'd likely bury the Empire in the hands of a man?
Greetings, Your Majesty.
I told you. You don't need to offer formal greetings.
Seeing her son defend a fallen kingdom's ruler right in front of her, the Empress Dowager's face turned ashen.
Victor, do you still have any regard for me, your mother?
Victor did not release his hold. Eleanor stood to the side, her feelings in turmoil. This confrontation between mother and son was not destined to end easily. The Empress Dowager's eyes were fixed on Aiden like knives. One thought kept swirling in her mind. If this person were a woman, he'd be absolutely stunning. Fortunately, he's a man, and that made him a thorn in her side.
Your Majesty, if the tea is not to Her Majesty's liking, perhaps we should rest first?
Mother, you surely didn't come today just for a cup of tea.
Victor, of course, knew who the Empress Dowager had come for. These past few days, he hadn't even finished reviewing memorials, staying by Aiden's side, afraid the man would disappear if he turned away.
In a few days, I will arrange a selection for you to choose several ladies to enter the palace. Once an imperial heir is born, I will not concern myself with these trivial matters.
The word selection hit Aiden like a bucket of cold water. He stood motionless, but his sleeves were crumpled from his tight grip.
My affairs are not for you to worry about.
The Empress Dowager gave a cold laugh, her gaze shifting from Victor's face to Aiden. Her eyes appraised him like an object that shouldn't exist.
Victor, I am doing this for the sake of the imperial lineage. You should think clearly.
Victor fell silent. The water in his teacup swayed slightly. Aiden looked up and saw the tight line of his mouth.
I'll take my leave.
The moment Aiden turned, his sleeve was gently tugged. He looked back to see a flicker of panic in Victor's eyes, an emotion he never showed others.
You, don't go far.
Aiden had just woken from a nightmare when his stomach churned violently. He tried to hold it back, but the nausea rushed up his throat, impossible to suppress.
Someone, summon the Imperial physician. Quickly.
Silas nearly tumbled down the steps, scrambling to the Imperial Hospital. Before long, a physician arrived with his medicine box. Aiden, exhausted, leaned against Victor, his body limp. He didn't want to lean, but he lacked even the strength to push him away.
Stop kneeling and come examine him.
The physician took his pulse, his frown deepening, until he knelt on the floor, trembling, unable to speak coherently.
Speak. What's wrong with him? I command you to speak.
Your Majesty.
Aiden stiffened completely, his face filled with utter disbelief. He was a man. How could he be pregnant?
Get out. I want to be alone.
Victor was shouted out of the room, but complex emotions surged within him. He immediately sent someone to fetch the Imperial physician through the night. But Aiden huddled in the corner of the bed, his gaze hollow. What was he to do with his child? Aiden had just moved closer to Victor, finally catching his breath, so weak he could barely sit up. Victor held a bowl of porridge and fed him. The moment the plain porridge entered his mouth, Aiden bent over and vomited. He leaned over the bedside, dry heaving. Victor quickly reached out to rub his back, his palms soothing strokes down his spine.
Feeling better?
Aiden looked up, lips pale, his eyes filled with unease.
Victor, what if? What if I really am pregnant?
Victor's hand froze midair. He stood there stunned, unable to utter a word. Aiden's voice trembled, the fear deep in his eyes sharper than any blade. He simply didn't believe Victor would accept this child.
What are you afraid of? Afraid I won't acknowledge it?
I don't know.
Aiden, look at me.
Before he could finish, Aiden turned his head away, a tear sliding down. Victor's heart felt wrenched. He suddenly understood he had never truly gained Aiden's trust. Jasper Vance's hand had just touched the hilt of his knife when the guard dogs immediately bared their teeth and growled low, ready to pounce the moment he drew it. Finn O'Reilly, terrified, grabbed his arm to stop him. But just then, a man in robes with purple trim and brocade, fanning himself with a bamboo fan, approached with leisurely steps. Damien Sterling, the second prince who had been missing for 5 years, had suddenly made his appearance.
Finn, since he's fully recovered now, we naturally can't keep him here.
Finn O'Reilly bowed respectfully, but Jasper stared at Damien, stunned. The man Aiden had sent people to search for so fruitlessly after the upheaval 6 years ago had been hiding in the kingdom of Dravale all along.
Damien? How are you here?
In such a hurry to leave? Was Finn not good enough for you? He didn't just cook for you, you know. He secretly fancies you. Didn't you realize?
Finn's face instantly flushed crimson. Humiliated, he turned and ran out of the courtyard gate. Jasper's brow furrowed deeply. With a single sentence, Damien had exposed Finn's feelings. This man was alarmingly well-informed about every whisper in the palace.
If you know His Majesty has been taken by Victor Kingsley, why haven't you gone to rescue him?
I would dearly love to use these hands to save Aiden, but some matters are not convenient to discuss now. Trust me and stay. Don't act recklessly.
A flicker of sorrow passed through Damien's eyes before he turned and left. Jasper stood, rooted to the spot, his mind a storm of questions. What secret was this second prince hiding? In the palace of Dravel, physician Ivan Thorne was staring blankly at a pile of rubble. Victor Kingsley approached, casually twirling a shimmering golden medicinal herb. The physician's eyes immediately glued themselves to it.
Ivan, want it? All you have to do is go take a look at the person I brought from Asteria. This herb is yours.
You mean that woman you tortured half to death?
The moment Ivan entered Dragoncrest Hall, he saw a man watering the flowers. It was Aiden Sterling. He froze on the spot. Where was the promised beauty? How had it turned into a man?
You. What in the world is going on?
Victor carefully helped Aiden sit down, his protective, treasuring demeanor infuriating Ivan so much the physician nearly rolled up his sleeves to throw a punch.
He's with child. Why else would I call for you?
Ivan was stunned. He looked Aiden over again, took his pulse, and his expression shifted from dismay to surprise, finally erupting into loud laughter. He kept exclaiming that heaven had not abandoned the royal line, thoroughly confusing Aiden.
I am clearly a man. How could I be pregnant?
Ivan sighed, saying all historical records of male pregnancies had been burned by that old witch. Otherwise, they could have learned more.
Don't worry. I secured the ancient texts long ago. No one can burn them.
Ivan suddenly seemed to remember something. In a panic, he ran out of the hall, saying he had to go ask the Empress Dowager for clarification.
What's wrong with him? And what about Lord Lucien?
Lucien has left the palace. I dismissed them all. Don't worry about it. Just focus on resting and nurturing the child.
Aiden touched his flat stomach, unable to believe it. Victor took his hand and led him away to rest. Inside Tranquil Benevolence Palace, Eleanor felt thoroughly uncomfortable under Ivan's intense stare. The physician tried to ask for the golden herb he'd just gifted back, but Eleanor seized the chance to press him about who exactly in the palace was pregnant. Just as Ivan leaned in to whisper the answer in her ear, a woman wielding a kitchen knife suddenly charged out, shouting at him. He yelped and took off running. Serafina ran over, explaining that was Ivan's wife. Eleanor was left speechless. Could the secret possibly be kept? Aiden had just begun to think everything could return to some semblance of peace when the hushed conversation between Serafina and Eleanor pierced his ears like a thorn. The secret from the late Emperor's reign, it seemed, had never truly faded.
What are you talking about? The Imperial Physician's real name is... Hattie?
Serafina's face instantly paled, and she immediately made a silencing gesture. That name was like a clap of thunder, freezing the very air.
Aiden, that name must not be spoken again. It's the greatest taboo.
Seeing the tension in Damien's eyes, Aiden's heart sank. Why was a physician's name more frightening than a sword?
What's this? Are you afraid? Or perhaps you know something?
Victor suddenly stepped out from the shadows, a cold smile playing on his lips. His words were like a hook, snagging everyone's attention.
I don't know anything, but this secret, I must get to the bottom of it.
Serafina and Eleanor exchanged a glance, their eyes filled with warning and fear. Aiden stepped closer, unaware he was walking straight into an abyss. Imperial Physician Hattie. What exactly lay behind that name? Why was it forbidden to speak during the late Emperor's reign, and even more so after his death? Would Aiden's pursuit drag himself down into utter ruin? He had just thought the matter might blow over when a new storm crashed down upon him first. Victor pushed the door open and saw Aiden asleep on the chaise lounge. He gently draped his outer robe over him, but his heart felt heavy as stone. His words that morning had been too harsh. He was afraid Aiden might truly leave.
You said you wanted to leave the palace?
Aiden, just waking up, was met with that grim, livid face. The words of explanation stuck in his throat, and a tightness gripped his chest.
I just wanted to go out for a change of scenery. If you don't agree, I won't go.
I thought you wanted to leave. With the child.
He pulled Aiden into a tight embrace, his arms locking around him as if afraid he'd slip away forever if he let go.
If you really try to leave, I won't hesitate to keep you locked up here for the rest of your life.
Aiden leaned against his chest without a word. He knew this was no joke. If Victor said it, he would do it. But before the stone in his own heart could settle, Damien on the other side was already nearing his limit. In a tavern's private room, Damien lay deathly pale on a soft couch. A tiny puncture on his fingertip oozed blood, dripping into a golden basin and staining it red. He clenched his teeth, refusing to let a sound escape.
Jimmy, think of another way.
Jimmy shook his head and left. Finn O'Reilly entered to deliver a message. Jasper had arrived. Damien forced himself to sit up. He knew Jasper would ask about Aiden.
How is he faring in the palace?
Stay out of his affairs. Since you haven't rejected Finn, be good to him and keep him company.
The two men locked eyes, neither willing to yield. Meanwhile, Ivan had finally finished combing through the ancient texts and found the line. His hand trembled, nearly dropping the book into the brazier. Where fortune resides, disaster lurks. Where disaster strikes, fortune may follow. For a man to conceive is, in itself, a defiance of the natural order. After more than 3 hours and several discarded attempts, the concoction was finally ready and brought over. Victor stood at the entrance to Dragoncrest Hall, holding the bowl of drug to get rid of the baby. The sweat on his palm dampened the rim. He didn't know how Aiden would react once he drank this.
Come in.
Victor's heart clenched. If this bowl was drunk, everything would be over.
Wait.
What is it?
Today's medicine is more bitter than usual. I didn't bring any candied fruit. Maybe you shouldn't drink it.
I'm not a child. I'm not afraid of bitterness.
Aiden raised the bowl, ready to down it in one go. Victor snatched it from his hands, turned, and strode outside. In the night, he poured the entire contents onto the flower bed. The bitter scent of the medicine filled the air. Victor let out a sigh of relief, but then Aiden's voice suddenly came from behind him.
Is there something in that medicine?
The bowl slipped from Victor's fingers and shattered on the ground. Aiden descended the steps, touched his flat stomach, his eyes filled with profound sorrow.
You don't want him, do you?
No. The medicine had gone cold. I was afraid it would hurt your health.
Aiden pressed his lips together, turned, and closed the door. Victor stood outside, knowing full well he couldn't hide the truth from Aiden. But an even greater difficulty lay ahead. How was he to tell Aiden about the risks of a cesarean section? The court was in an uproar over the vacant position of Chancellor. Victor sat coldly on the dragon throne, watching. Had he been too lenient with people lately? So much so that they'd forgotten his temper. But Victor knew well he wasn't in a hurry to appoint a chancellor. The ones in a hurry were the clowns making a scene, because not everyone could make him break his own rules like that one person could. Inside Dragoncrest Hall, Aiden was quietly having his meal when he heard familiar footsteps. He looked up to see Victor already sitting down beside him.
What? Won't you invite me to share a meal?
Silas, no need to set another place.
So you don't wish to dine with me?
I simply don't wish to be disturbed.
Victor stared at Aiden's profile, and the irritation in his heart suddenly dissipated. He brought up the matter of the Chancellor candidate.
Tell me, who would be suitable for that position?
Your Majesty surely already has a decision in mind. Why ask me?
But I want to hear you say it.
Aiden set down his chopsticks and looked at Victor. In the eyes of this tyrannical ruler, there was now a trace of barely perceptible softness. But just then, hurried footsteps sounded from outside the door. He had just thought it was all over, but with a single sentence from Victor, he was thrust back into the eye of the storm.
You're not trying to work me to death, are you?
How could I bear to? The chancellorship is just a pretense. With this status, the Empress Dowager won't dare move against you.
Aiden was stunned, so Victor was trading half the kingdom for his safety. The weight of that intention burned his ears.
Why are you so good to me?
Because I don't want to lose you again.
The Grand Tutor accepted his newly adopted son with a beaming smile, but his eyes kept drifting to Aiden's belly, as if calculating some grand scheme. At the River Lantern Festival, the waterway glittered with countless lights. Aiden was bending down to release his lantern when he suddenly heard a familiar voice.
Dammy.
He dropped the lantern and ran toward the bridge. But the figure on the bridge had just straightened up when a seductive-looking man struck him on the back of the neck, knocking him unconscious, and dragged him away.
Aiden! Where are you going?
Aiden rushed to the spot under the bridge. The man was gone, only the scattered lanterns drifting downstream. He clenched his fists. That name was carved into his chest like a knife. He chased to the head of the bridge, but the person had already vanished. Yet he was 100% certain it was Damien. Why was he hiding? Did he find Aiden disgusting because of his relationship with Victor?
Aiden, if you run off like this, what if I can't find you?
Let go of me. I don't need you to worry about me.
He shook off Victor's grip and ran down the bridge in a panic, calling out as he went. Victor stood where he was, his fists clenched so tight, his knuckles cracked. That affectionate form of address stabbed at his heart.
Dami, I know it's you. Please come out.
From behind a tree, Damien gazed at him with greedy eyes, a bitter smile on his lips. He hadn't heard that address in 5 years. But his father had been too cruel to him. He didn't dare get close again. Victor issued a stern command. Aiden pushed him away and ran. A dark shadow quietly followed, while Victor turned and walked toward the tree by the riverbank. The two peerlessly handsome men faced each other. Damien fanned himself casually, delivering his words one by one.
But Aiden belongs to me. I will have him.
Victor's heart sank. He hurriedly chased in the direction Aiden had gone, only to find a guard knocked unconscious on the ground. Aiden had been taken. In the tavern room, Jasper held a warm towel, not daring to touch the person on the bed. Aiden woke up, asking in alarm where this was. Jasper immediately stopped him.
My lord, you can't go back. The second prince is in this very tavern.
Elsewhere, Damien held his sword to Jimmy's throat, forcing him to hand over the last bottle of medicine. After taking it, the pain in his chest subsided. He straightened his robes and regained his elegant composure. A knock sounded on the door. What was coming had finally arrived. Aiden stood outside the door, his hand lifting and falling. 5 years had passed. Damien's exile was entirely because of him. He was afraid that behind this door awaited hatred, but the room was empty. Before he could gather his wits, a pair of warm hands tightly encircled him from behind. The familiar embrace made him go rigid instantly. 5 years. Yet this hug felt just as warm as before.
Aiden, have you missed me these 5 years?
Dami, stop teasing me.
Damien playfully tapped his nose and said he would take him away. But Aiden's heart tightened. He didn't want to leave anymore.
What's keeping you here? Come with me.
Dami, Victor is very good to me now. I want to go back.
A cold glint flashed in Damien's eyes, though a smile still graced his face. He leaned close to Aiden's ear and whispered he had already sent word to Victor. If his feelings were true, he would come in pursuit.
I only want you to see his true heart.
A spark of understanding lit up Aiden's mind. So Damien was testing Victor. Relieved, he nodded, deciding to go with Damien first and wait for Victor to come after him.
The carriage is outside. Let's go.
In the palace, Victor was personally watering the flowers, but his heart was burning with a different fire. Caius delivered a letter. Victor opened it. Damien wrote that Aiden had agreed to leave with him. Victor crumpled the letter into a ball with hatred, his gaze darkening. Outside the tavern, Aiden held the carriage curtain and climbed in, looking back the way he came. Victor, will you come? The sedan chair slowly approached the city gates, Aiden Sterling's heart sinking with every inch. He stared out the window, constantly seeing illusions in the crowd, but he never appeared.
Aiden, what are you looking for?
Nothing.
Victor Kingsley stood silently among the throng, his gaze meeting hers for a fleeting moment, yet he did not take a single step forward. As the sedan passed him by, he remained like a stone statue, slowly swallowed by the masses.
Dami, did you really tell him? Why didn't he come?
I told him, but he just stood there watching you leave, with no intention of stopping you at all.
Victor returned to the palace. Seeing the calligraphy on his desk, his heart suddenly warmed. Walk until the river ends, sit and watch the clouds rise. He had left a signal. He hadn't lied to him.
Guards, ride out of the city immediately. Search along the main road.
Caius pursued beyond the city walls, only to see a runaway carriage careening toward a cliff. By the time Victor arrived, the carriage had already plunged into the white mist below. He practically threw himself down the cliff face, his fingers scraping against the rock, refusing to stop.
No, he can't have died like this.
He tore through the shattered wood, first seeing Damien, who was shielding another body beneath him. He turned it over. The face was Aiden's, but his fingertips brushed against a raised edge along the jawline. With a gentle pull, it peeled away, revealing a completely unfamiliar face.
A fake. It was all a fake.
He looked up. Above him loomed the impossibly high cliff. Where was the real Aiden Sterling? Blood from his palm mixed with wood splinters. For the first time, Victor felt there was no path forward. Victor Kingsley awoke from unconsciousness, his body feeling utterly broken. He thought death was certain, never expecting to open his eyes again. He was in a mist-shrouded valley, damp and chillingly cold.
Where did you come from, sir? You're the first living person I have seen at Nameless Cliff.
Victor frowned, looking at the child of about 7 or 8. He wore his hair in a large bun, carried a medicine basket on his back, and his watery eyes sparkled with curiosity. Nameless Cliff was also called Lifeless Cliff. No one who fell ever survived.
How am I still alive? How long have you been here? Have you seen anyone else fall?
Never seen a living soul, only corpses. Not even birds dare fly over this place. You're the first to wake up.
Victor's heart tightened. He remembered the figure in red, just before the fall. Aiden was still up there, fate unknown. He had to find a way back and confirm whether that person had fallen too.
Little one, is there anywhere unusual down here? Or has anyone else come recently?
Sir, you seem to be looking for someone? There's a cave up ahead. 3 days ago, I faintly saw a figure slip inside, but I didn't dare go near.
Victor, supporting his injured body, stumbled step by step toward the cave. The entrance was covered in moss and dark stains, making his heart pound faster.
Aiden? Is that you?
He pushed aside the vines covering the mouth of the cave. Inside was pitch black. Suddenly, a rock tumbled down from above, landing at his feet.
Who's in there? Show yourself.
From within the cave came a weak, rasping cough that sounded utterly wrenching. Victor's heart nearly stopped. The voice was all too familiar.
Don't come any closer.
Aiden had thought Victor's disappearance might bring a moment of peace, but a child's innocent remark pierced his heart like a knife. A chubby-cheeked boy ran over from the street, grinning with artless joy. He chattered about how that character was taught by his daddy, who couldn't even write it himself, but had promised to teach the boy.
What did you say? Who taught you that character?
The boy blinked, tilting his head.
Then, where is your daddy?
The innocent question felt like a bucket of cold water poured over him.
Do you know this child? Who exactly taught him that character he mentioned?
I don't. But the stroke he described, only one person in the entire kingdom writes it that way, Victor Kingsley.
Aiden's hands trembled slightly, his heart gripped by a tight fist. How could a man who had vanished have taught this child to write before disappearing?
Then where did his father go? You've been searching for Victor all this time to no avail.
I don't know, but the boy said his own father couldn't write the character. That doesn't make sense.
Then where is your daddy?
The question froze Aiden instantly, tearing open an old wound.
My father is no longer here. But the one who taught you, when exactly did he come?
The boy shook his head, saying only that his daddy had said he would teach him to write, but never returned. Aiden suddenly realized the last person Victor might have seen before disappearing was this child. But why? The answer was buried in the child's memory. Just when he thought the matter might be over, new evidence crashed down before him. The mystery of the insect poison was still unsolved when an even more hidden clue surfaced. Where exactly was he?
Dami, you know where he is, don't you?
Damien froze for an instant, looking toward Jimmy. Jimmy spread his hands helplessly. He'd been with Damien these past few days, sharing every meal and even sleeping quarters. How could he possibly know?
Aiden, what do you mean by that? I've never been alone with him.
Aiden's gaze grew steadily colder. He knew in his heart his disappearance was no accident, and the antidote to the poison might lie hidden in his own words.
Damien, you'd best confess honestly. My patience has limits.
I don't blame you, but the child cannot wait.
Damien's face turned deathly pale, his lips trembling. He clenched his fists and finally spat out a sentence that left everyone stunned.
He said that if anything happened, to find him under the old locust tree west of the city.
Aiden shot to his feet. In the black of night, he had to make a choice to trust this lead, or to continue doubting the person closest to him.
Take me there.
Are you sure you want to go? It might be a trap.
Aiden bit his lip and pushed his hand away. He had no retreat left. He had just thought he could persuade Aiden. But for that tyrant Victor Kingsley, Aiden was prepared to leap off a cliff. Damien's resolve hardened. With a chop to the neck, he knocked Aiden unconscious and carried him back to the manor.
Aiden, stop this madness. That cliff is 100 feet high. Falling means certain death.
I have to go down. Victor wouldn't die so easily.
Jimmy took Aiden's pulse, and his expression changed drastically. Aiden was 2 months pregnant. Damien felt as if struck by lightning.
But he's clearly male. How is this possible?
Yet, looking at Aiden's pained, furrowed brow on the bed, Damien made a ruthless decision. He sent Jimmy to prepare stabilizing medicine, then slumped by the bedside as the insect poison flared, falling unconscious. Jimmy, looking at the discarded dregs of medicine, had a sudden flash of insight. The child in Aiden's belly might just be the key to curing Damien's poison.
Aiden, are you hungry?
I'm not.
If you don't eat, the child still needs to. Be good and listen to me. and I won't harm this baby.
Damien's lips descended onto Aiden's neck, sucking harshly, then moved to claim the lips he had longed for. Aiden's eyes widened in shock, not daring to resist. Suddenly, a cough shattered the suffocating atmosphere. Damien's kiss had barely begun when the cough from the doorway forcefully interrupted him. He looked up, his eyes filled with impatience.
Lord Jimmy, your timing is impeccable. The medicine is ready. Drink it while it's hot. Any more delay, and the fetus may become unstable.
Aiden stared at the bowl of dark, murky liquid. Lips pressed tightly shut. It wasn't the bitterness he feared, but what the medicine might conceal.
Aiden, this is stabilizing medicine. I won't harm your child. Open your mouth.
I won't drink it.
Aiden shoved Damien's hand away. The medicine bowl crashed to the floor, brown liquid splattering across the bed. Damien's expression instantly turned icy. He scooped Aiden up, strode out of the room, and tossed a command over his shoulder as he passed Jimmy.
Brew another bowl.
When the second bowl arrived, Damien didn't bother with discussion. He took a mouthful of the medicine himself, then forcibly transferred it into Aiden's mouth, ending the act with a punishing bite.
If you don't take your medicine properly from now on, this is how I'll feed you.
Aiden curled up under the covers, desperately wiping his mouth, silent tears falling onto the bed frame. In the dead of night, he fell into a high fever and delirium.
Victor.
Damien gripped Aiden's hand tightly, the name uttered in delirium cutting into his chest like a blade. He leaned down and whispered a promise.
Aiden, when you wake up, I'll take you to find him. Just stay alive.
The moment Victor stepped into the secluded valley, he was startled by the sight of shimmering gold. It wasn't fire, but a kind of luminous golden vine, densely entwined around an ice coffin.
This golden vine. Is it the herb the Imperial physician treasures as a rare herb? Why is it growing all around an ice coffin?
Theme wriggled free from Victor's embrace and trotted to the coffin's side. He pushed aside the golden vines and pressed close to the lid, his voice soft, as if afraid to wake someone.
Zane, I brought him to see you. Since you wouldn't stay with me, now I have someone to keep me company.
Victor drew closer. Inside the coffin lay a man with white hair, his appearance no older than 30, bearing some resemblance to Qasim. It turned out Zane and him were not blood-related. Zane had simply taken in the boy, who was treated as a freak. Zane had risked climbing the nameless cliff to gather herbs to cure Qasim's dwarfism. Believing he was being abandoned, Qasim, in a panic, used his ability to manipulate plants to drag Zane down the cliff.
I didn't mean to. I just didn't want him to leave. After he fell, I used the golden vine and the valley's cold energy to sustain his life. It's been 10 years.
Victor frowned deeply. The surrounding energy was too heavy with gloom. No wonder Qasim seemed so somber and withdrawn.
Let me tell you a story. Once there was a villain who met someone who refused to surrender. Later, the villain fell in love with him, but the villain got trapped here in a scheme, while the one he loved fell ill from longing.
Is that villain you? Do you want to leave to find him?
Victor didn't answer, only stared at the ice coffin. Suddenly, he felt a gaze upon him. Looking up, the white-haired man in the coffin had opened his eyes. The corner of his mouth lifted slightly in a faint smile, then slowly closed again.
Victor, you won't try to leave me like Zane did, will you? If you want to go, you mustn't hide it from me. Otherwise, I don't know what I might do.
Victor remained silent, but a storm raged within him. Zane in the ice coffin. Had he truly awakened just now? Or was it merely his own desperate imagination? He thought he would sleep forever in the darkness, but the first second his eyes opened, he saw the one person who shouldn't be there.
You're awake? I've been searching for you for so long.
His eyes were bloodshot, his sleeves stained with mud, as if he'd clawed his way out of some perilous place.
Why are you here? Shouldn't you have left?
He remembered clearly. He was the one who had pushed him towards someone else. Yet now, he knelt before him, his gaze blazing.
I regret it. Every day since that happened, I've been filled with regret. You can hate me, but I won't let you go again.
He reached out to touch his face but stopped midair, fingers trembling slightly.
Victor Kingsley, do you know some words, once spoken, can never be taken back?
The air suddenly grew heavy. He felt a tightness in his chest, as if something was watching them intently from the shadows behind.
I know, but I fear even more missing my chance to say them.
As his words hung in the air, the cold edge of a sword suddenly rested against Aiden's throat. A voice came from the darkness.
How touching. However, he belongs to me.
Victor surged to his feet to draw his blade, only to find his hands instantly entangled by something rendering him immobile.
Damien, You. How did you?
No sooner had Aiden's health improved than he followed Damien and Jimmy down to the bottom of the cliff. A miasma choked the air, and white fog blotted out the sky. Suddenly, he glimpsed a figure in the dense mist, pale as snow. Without a second thought, he sprinted after it.
Aiden.
Aiden didn't look back, chasing that white silhouette. The white fog gradually darkened, and an eerie silence fell all around. The figure vanished, but from the darkness came a voice as smooth and gentle as jade. He followed the sound, and ahead, a golden light abruptly flared. A man with hair like silver snow trailing to the ground stood beside an ice coffin, his bearing transcendent.
Have you come seeking someone?
Yes.
The white-haired man's next question, spoken slowly, struck Aiden's heart like a physical blow. Aiden froze. Victor's image flashed before his eyes. Collecting himself, his voice was soft yet firm.
Unable to stop the thoughts, incapable of forgetting the heart's longing, is for one person alone.
And what if it is between two men?
Aiden's pupils constricted slightly, a faint flush rising to his cheeks, but he did not retreat. To Aiden's surprise, the white-haired man pressed further. Aiden was instantly rendered speechless. Images of an old man and a youth surfaced in his mind, filling his heart with a desolate chill. The man sighed, his gaze dimming. The golden light faded. When Aiden regained his senses, he was standing at the edge of the white fog. Damien rushed over, his face etched with anxiety. But Aiden's mind echoed relentlessly with that phrase, "What if both are combined?" He looked back into the dense mist, but the white figure had long since disappeared.
Aiden, are you alright?
Aiden shook his head, but his eyes held a lingering confusion and unease. Aiden followed the white-clad man through the black mist and back into the white fog. At the boundary, the man suddenly stopped, saying he must leave now. Going further would risk discovery. Aiden's heart tightened. Who was this man? Why was he helping him?
The longing is so deep, why deceive oneself?
The white-clad figure paused, then completely dissolved into the mist. Just as Aiden breathed a sigh of relief, a soft voice came from behind. He turned, and the smile instantly froze on his face. Victor stood there, holding a child of 6 or 7 in his arms, his gaze icy.
Who are you?
Aiden looked at Victor, waiting for him to protect him, as he always had before. But Victor merely frowned, looking at him with impatience. The child named Kasim clung to Victor's neck, making a face at Aiden.
Did you hear me?
You have changed.
Victor stopped looking at him, coaxing Kasim about going home. Aiden stood rooted to the spot, a sour ache churning in his heart. He saw a small bamboo hut not far away, where Victor was patiently teaching the child to read a patience that had once belonged solely to him. Unwilling to accept it, Aiden walked over and sat beside Kasim, gently teaching him to write. Kasim quickly took a liking to this man, snuggling into his arms. Victor's gaze abruptly darkened. Victor pulled Aiden into the backyard, his eyes devoid of any warmth. Aiden shook off his grip, waiting for an explanation.
Why did you pull me out here?
Go back. Leave with Damien right now.
Why should I?
Because you're carrying my child. If anything happens to it, I will not forgive you.
Aiden had just begun to think things might settle when Victor's single word, leave, pushed him to the edge of a precipice. He clenched his fists, watching that retreating back, the pain in his heart sharper than any blade.
Victor Kingsley, if I leave this time, I will never come back.
Leave!
He knew this wasn't what Victor truly felt in his heart, yet he stubbornly pursued him. Turning on his heel without pause, he charged straight into the house. Victor was left standing alone, the wind making his silhouette seem desolate. He walked over to where Damien and Jimmy were sitting. After a moment's hesitation, he spoke.
Kasim, he is not human.
What did you say?
Victor offered no further explanation, turning to leave. But Jimmy sensed something amiss. The surrounding trees were slowly shifting. A century-old tree soundlessly moved a foot away. Damien and Jimmy finally understood. This forest was inescapable. The trees had become spirits.
Let's first find a way out, then come back for Aiden.
The two split up to search for a path, but found none. Suddenly, Damien's poison flared. Veins bulged on his forehead like writhing worms, agony contorting his features. Following the direction Damien had pointed, Jimmy ventured into a southern gorge and discovered a flower blooming on a white bamboo stalk. When he touched the stem, fine thorns pierced his finger, and the flower instantly changed color, a purple stem with crimson petals. It was the legendary Iris Crimson.
Wait here. I'll go look.
The ground suddenly shook violently. a tremendous roar coming from the eastern gorge. He cursed under his breath and immediately sprinted toward the gorge. Jimmy was still trapped inside. I stumbled out of the gorge, my face deathly pale. The iris crimson in my hand was frantically sucking my blood, its petals now a deep, dripping crimson. Damien's momentary relief vanished, his heart leaping into his throat.
Are you trying to get yourself killed? Throw it away now.
Jimmy dodged his hand, insisting the flower could save Damien, begging him to wait a little longer. Damien trembled with fury, knocking the flower from Jimmy's grasp. Blood seeped into the soil, and Jimmy nearly collapsed.
I won't let you trade your life for mine. Who do you think you are to me? Enough. Don't look at it like that. I won't exchange your life. You and Aiden are both the most important people to me.
As Damien helped the weakened Jimmy turn around, they came face to face, with Victor holding Kasim. Kasim smiled sweetly and presented a condition. He would spare Jimmy if Jimmy killed Damien. Jimmy agreed almost without hesitation. Damien instantly dragged him back behind him.
Don't be foolish. He has no intention of letting either of us live.
Victor had made a bet with Kasim that Jimmy would be willing to die for Damien, and that Damien would never allow it. Victor won. Reluctantly, Kasim let them go. Damien decided they would stay put for now, until Jimmy's injuries improved. Meanwhile, Aiden awoke in bed to find the hut empty. He walked out alone into the desolate landscape beneath the cliffs, searching everywhere, but finding not a single soul. As if guided by some unseen force, he entered the dense, mist-shrouded forest that had trapped him for so long.
Victor.
The forest was terrifyingly quiet, not even the sound of wind. The fog grew thicker, pressing down on him until he could barely breathe. Aiden remembered his father's words, "When lost, always turn left." He turned left at every opportunity. Suddenly, a gleam of light flashed through the mist, eerily familiar. Aiden stared at the light, his heart pounding. It seemed to be the place where the white-haired man had been. But just then, a sinister voice spoke from behind him. In the depths of the darkness, a flicker of light wavered. Aiden walked step by step toward the ice coffin. The white-haired man lay within, serene and peaceful, as if asleep, or perhaps never to wake again.
Who are you?
He wanted to reach into the coffin and touch that face, but just as his fingertips grazed the icy edge, golden vines erupted from the ground, coiling tightly around his wrist. Aiden struggled violently, but the vines were tough as iron chains, constricting tighter and tighter, biting into his flesh. He gasped in pain.
Let go.
Struggling was useless. Aiden forced himself to stop, not daring to move a muscle. He felt the golden vines probing his intent, as if they were living things. After what felt like an eternity, the vines slowly loosened and retracted into the ground. His wrist was left with shocking red welts, throbbing and numb. What had just happened was no illusion.
Just who are you? Why are you here?
He looked again at the coffin. The white-haired man's features were clear and cold, his shape faintly familiar. Aiden's heart clenched. He felt he had seen this person somewhere before. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't remember. Just as he was lost in thought, the tightly closed eyes within the coffin seemed to tremble slightly. Aiden's breath caught in his throat. Just when he thought he could hold on, Victor hurled a name at him, the impact ringing in his skull.
How long will you keep pretending? Kasim has hated you for 10 full years, and you have not a single word of explanation?
There's no need.
His reply was light, as if that decade of hatred were merely a passing breeze. Yet Victor clearly saw the hand holding the brush tremble.
You wrote the character for book thousands of times. I examined every stroke. Those were words you spoke to yourself, weren't they?
Aiden was stunned. He hadn't expected Victor to have dug up even that. Those characters were all written secretly, alone at night, in places no one could see.
You investigated me? You think you know everything?
I don't know. That's why I'm waiting for you to tell me yourself. Who are you? Really? Zane? Or someone else?
The moment that name was spoken, the look in Aiden's eyes changed. No longer restrained, it was the pain of an old wound being torn open. He bit his lip, the taste of blood spreading in his throat.
Zane is me. But Kasim hates the wrong person. I did not start that fire.
Victor's pupils contracted sharply. A decade-long misunderstanding, wrong from the very beginning. But why had Zane never spoken up?
Then why not explain? Let him hate you for 10 years?
Because explanations are useless. Hatred became his life's purpose long ago. Would I trade the truth for his life? It's not worth it.
Victor was speechless. He suddenly understood. Aiden had been using silence to protect another person all along. But who was that person? He turned his head and saw a shadow that had appeared unnoticed at the doorway. No sooner had Aiden washed away the dust of his journey in the old lands of Asteria than two figures knelt before him.
His Majesty has been absent from court for over half a month.
Speculation was rife at court, and the Empress Dowager was nearly at her limit.
Doesn't she enjoy wielding power? Insisting on making every decision for this emperor. Hasn't she gotten her wish now? Does she think she can make me return?
His words were laced with sarcasm, but the wariness in his eyes betrayed him.
If I were to return, would she willingly relinquish power? She'd prefer I never come back at all.
Two figures remained silent, bowing their heads even lower.
You want me to return as well, don't you? Worried my throne is insecure? Huh. That throne was bought with her blood in the first place.
Aiden turned his back to them, his shoulders trembling slightly.
Tell the Empress Dowager that I remain in Asteria. Let her guard the court well. I want to see just how long she can last.
The two figures kowtowed, pressing their foreheads to the ground, then vanished silently into the gathering dusk. Aiden stood alone under the setting sun. The wind of Asteria lifted the hem of his worn robe.
Mother, just what game are you playing?
In the distance came the urgent sound of galloping hooves. Aiden's pupils constricted sharply. The old man stared at Aiden's abdomen, his eyes nearly popping out of his head. In his long life, he had seen all sorts of people. One glance told him this young man was no true male. There was a 3-month pregnancy evident in that belly.
Sir, are you speaking of me?
The old man chuckled.
Disguising yourself as a man can't fool these old eyes. That belly is proof enough.
Don't be afraid, my dear. Your husband will take you to get some prenatal medicine right away.
The old man cheerfully led the way.
Return to the palace with me, or you choose.
Aiden gritted his teeth in anger, but had no choice but to endure it.
If you call me my dear one more time, I'll expose who you really are.
My dear, I like calling you that.
Aiden stood frozen on the steps. Victor's hand was warm. This was the first time he had truly looked at this face. Victor accepted the silver notes and pulled Aiden straight to the fabric shop. Painted screen pavilion. Aiden refused to enter, struggling, but was ultimately dragged in.
She is my wife. Of course we need her measurements taken.
The young lady is quite handsome in men's attire.
Victor directly stated the measurements, specifically instructing that the clothes should not be too tight.
How do you know my measurements?
Is there any part of you your husband hasn't seen or touched? If the clothes are uncomfortable, Painted Screen Pavilion will be out of business.
The two men supported Aiden as if attending to an ancestor, heading to an inn. Without blinking, Victor threw down 1,000 taels to book it for 3 days. Aiden's heart tightened. Just where was this man planning to take him?